What's up, everybody? This is Ben with another crypto update on HBAR and on a couple other things. This is not a doom and gloom video, but it is a reminder video for those of you that are new. And even if you're not new, it's good to be reminded that after big moves like this, we typically see some type of retrace or recheck of a significant area. I'm still pointing at this all-time high here around 46 cents. I tweeted and said it a few times in videos that I would like to see this thing go up into the 50s and then kind of flag its way down back to this all-time high, which would be nice, right? Something like this for a really nice strong recheck and then continuation up. So that's kind of what I'm looking out for on HBAR. We do have some other support levels on HBAR. On the lower time frames, this is the 4 hour. It looks like we're breaking off that, but the 9 may hold it here, so we can watch that. We have a little bit of support here, which you can see more on the 1 hour, this level right here, and that kind of plays in with the 50 as well. So those are what we're dealing with. The MACD is very red on the hourly, which I would assume that's going to start to flip green at some point because it is so red, and maybe we get a little bit of relief here. But this is all very normal. This is all healthy for HBAR as an altcoin to come down and recheck these levels. So don't freak out if and when it happens. It needs to. On the other hand, sometimes when coins start getting hot like this, the dailies don't really come down and recheck. You might get a recheck like on the 4 hour really quick. But you might not see like this really big, nice bear or bull flag on the daily. Like you might see it on the 4 hour instead. So we can watch for that as well. The other thing I want to remind you of, and I haven't talked about, but you guys know I used to talk about Bitcoin all the time, even though I don't own any, because of how much it is in control of the market. Again, if you're new to this, you should know that Bitcoin is the king of crypto, and it will dictate what the market does. When it trades sideways, typically alts get a chance to move up, which is what's happened here over the last few days for HBAR and for some other alts, which is great. HBAR has made a big move, and it is warranted. This did not come out of just didn't come out of nowhere here. We had this huge consolidation and accumulation period that was all very organic and happened, and it should have happened. So don't think just because Bitcoin made a drop that that's the reason why this pumped. It didn't. So, but it is important to point out, and it's important to point out because Bitcoin is moving again, and that's why I bring it up. For the past week or even longer, Bitcoin's kind of just been doing this sideways action, right? Not really much to talk about. Recently, Bitcoin has made a move. So it's time to kind of start looking at it again to see what we think it may or may not do, because it is going to affect the alts, whether you like it or not. This is a bearish pattern here that Bitcoin was in, and it typically will have continuation in that same direction. Now it broke down here, and I was hoping to get a touch of 42 there and then start moving up. I tweeted about that, but we didn't. We pulled right back into this pennant or triangle, whatever you want to call it. And then the next day we had this really big daily candle for Bitcoin, very bullish candle, and then continuation here today. We got an hour left to see where this closes. So this is a nice move here for Bitcoin, and will help the overall market with alts as well. Now, if Bitcoin pumps 30%, it doesn't mean your alts will. It doesn't usually work like that. It really sucks because when Bitcoin dumps, your alts will dump worse. When Bitcoin goes up, your alts usually will go up too, but just not as much. It just kind of works that way, unfortunately. So some things I'm looking at on Bitcoin, this MACD on the daily is really starting to get close to flipping, and that would be a very bullish sign for me. These candles are a bullish sign for me. A couple things that I am looking at. This 50 is still kind of hanging out here. The 9 obviously has dropped, but that really doesn't bother me. What I'm looking at is for this 50 to continue to come up and to see what happens when Bitcoin gets squeezed here on this very big resistance level that we've had for a long time, obviously, with Bitcoin, right? Wild Wild West is what I like to call it. So we had this $10,000 candle, which I talked about having. I wouldn't be surprised if we have $10,000 candles up and more $10,000 candles down in this area, because it's just kind of wacky. That comes from all of this craziness here. So what we can watch for is, where does this daily candle close here? Do we start breaking up into here? Because if we do, I think we'll probably kind of trickle up like we did here, and then we can kind of see what happens when we reach this level, right? If we get rejected here and we start to come back down, then I'm going to start considering something like this kind of thing, which is very much a bear flag, kind of flagging out here, right? And that could be a possibility if Bitcoin is rejected here at this horizontal level. And if so, you know, we probably screw around in here, and then typically bear flags do break, not always, but typically they do break in the same direction. In that case, I do think we would get this retest of 42 and then hopefully continue up, right, or trade sideways. So those are the things I'm watching for. It is important right now to start looking at Bitcoin again, watch it to see what it does, know that it's going to affect your alts. If this can come down and just start sitting sideways again, then our alts are probably going to start pushing again. But Bitcoin is making a move right now, and when it makes a move, it's important to look at and kind of see what you think may or may not happen. And the only way we do that is to look at support and resistance lines, indicators like MACD, stuff like that. So we know this is a very important line. I'd like to watch this close and tomorrow as well to see if we can push up into here or not. If not, I would start to believe that maybe we're falling into this bear flag pattern, or if not, we get a better scenario and we get some kind of double bottom here and get up into here, which is a possibility as well, because in the long term, in the short term here, Bitcoin is making this upward movement, but that is very bear flag looking. So watch the MACD for Bitcoin. Draw this little flag if you want. Make sure these resistance levels are in your chart so you can kind of watch them and see what happens, because they will affect our precious alts that all of us are in, right? Other than that, that's all I got. I'm excited about H-bar. It's doing its thing. I am not worried whatsoever if it rechecks this area. Even if it rechecks this area, I'm not worried. Even if it rechecks this area, I'm not worried. I think that would be a very good buy if it happens to do that. But don't freak out if we get some big recheck. I think it's probably warranted at this point. The 9 is way down here. It's either got to catch up to the price action, or this thing has to flag out long enough for the 9 to come up and meet with it. Like I said, the 9 and the price action are really good friends. They like to stick together. So congratulations again to those of you that lived through all this with me and with other people. I know it wasn't fun. It was boring a lot of times, and it was frustrating a lot of times, but we've made this move out, and this is just a reminder to not turn to a completely negative Nancy when this thing comes down to recheck. It's perfectly normal and fine, and I'm expecting it. But what I wanted to point out is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is making a move again. It's not trading sideways anymore. It's making a move, and we need to pay attention to this, because it will affect what our alts are going to do. All right, that's all I got for you. Just some things to think about, and subscribe if you like it. Thanks for all the chatter on Twitter. It's fun to chat with you guys. So until next time, peace out.